Spend so much time just trying to work, but the work that you're doing is inefficient and it's a fake work. When you get home and you say, "Oh, I'm going to study, or I'm going to do something for school," but all you do is something that you know is not going to get you a higher grade. The things that you are doing are now helping you actually to score higher. They're just doing the easy stuff, the stuff that anyone can do while turning their brain off. It's not the hard, deep work that is necessary to improve your grades. So, for example, you might start highlighting your notes or organizing folders. That's not going to get you a better grade, is it? And it's not really important. I'm Martin. I'm someone who has never gotten a worse grade than a B. B at like final, the final list of grades. I've never gotten a worse grade than a B, which in my country means that I've always gotten honors every year. Now, I used to study, or at least do the fake work, quite a lot. So this was the time I was spending um, before I started to care about these systems and how to study less. And I had high grades. What I've done is that I've lowered the time that I spend now in school while keeping the bar for the grades quite high. Maybe it has gotten slightly bit, worse, but it isn't really that much of a difference because it's still really good grades, which on my level is honors, but the time difference that I spend is in hours, tens of hours. Like over the whole school year, it's like hundreds of hours saved just by not doing the fake, meaningless work. So if that is something that you're interested in, go to the link in the description and check out the course that I've made just for you because you are a student and you don't want to study. You don't want to study, you're lazy, but you still want to get the good grades. And even if you do want to study, I feel like it's very dumb to not try to find the most optimal, most efficient, most effective way to study currently. Because you can either be the hardworking student who does a lot of work and yeah, he gets the grade, or you can be like the smart guy who doesn't spend barely any time studying, but he even gets the same grade as the hardworking student. Hardworking, quote unquote, because it's not hardworking, it's just dumb and inefficient. So, now I will tell you exactly step by step, actionable way how to actually start doing this right, how to be more efficient, more effective. So, the first thing that you need to do is to cut out everything that you're doing, every inefficient thing, everything that you don't need to do. Don't do it. So, start from a blank slate. All right. Now that you have a blank slate where you don't have any work, now you're going to be adding only the necessities. So that might be homework, that might be the assignments that are due, that might be the projects. You cannot really skip those. So if you cannot skip them, do them, but only focus on them. Don't do any like organizing, don't do highlighting, don't do study sessions with others. That's just a waste of time. Just focus purely on the things that you need to do. That's the bare minimum. Now, on top of that, we are going to stack preparation for tests. Because tests are also, not optional. You still have to write them and you still need to get good grades. So, how we are going to learn is going to be much more different than what you're probably doing right now. And that is going to be by doing sorry, is going to be by doing the tests. You are going to be writing tests as if you were in school and the teacher gave you a test. You're going to do that home alone. That is the single best way currently how to learn how to study efficiently. Because if you were just reading the notes, you would have to read them over and over and over again. You do a few of these tests and you'll get better grades than most of the people. So how do you actually do this? You take your notes that you have in your physical form, because you already know that if you write them in the like by hand, your memory is going to be that much better, and you're going to memorize it better than if you were to just write it on your computer. You take those notes, convert them into digital form, you take them and throw them into AI. The AI is going to give you back a list of questions based on those notes, and under each question you're going to have an answer. This way you have a question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. Now you take that test without obviously looking at the answers. You answered it, and then you compare the answers that you've written down and the actual or real answer. You do this a few times in the morning when you wake up. And that's your studying. You don't need much more than that. So what we have essentially done is we've taken all this time block that you've spent on your school, we threw it away. We start with a blank slate. We put on the only the necessities, only the things that you actually need to do. We stack them, and then on top of that, we're going to do this self-testing again and again. Now we don't have any unnecessary stuff, any unnecessary work. This is the bare minimum, and this is what you're going to do, because if you add anything upon that, you're doing free work basically. So yeah, strip down to the bare minimum of the work that you need to do, and then actually do it every day. This way you outperform the nerds who study all the time but do the fake work, the inefficient work, but you still have the time, like the people who don't study. So you have the best of the both worlds. You have the good grades and you have the time. And this is how I would do it. If I have been helpful to you, if I have given you any value, subscribe right now, because obviously you want to see more of this channel. And also go take a look at that course, because it's going to give you even much more value than I've given you right now.